everyone, I'm trying to do my monthly vlog again for you. I know I did like one and got off of it. I don't like being on camera, if you haven't noticed. So I thought I would do kind of a series of vlogs over time about my favorite books. And today I'm starting with some photography books that are more about the creativity and other aspects instead of like a how-to manual or a how-to edit. And they're not like business books. It's mostly the creative side of it. The first one is called The Creative Fight by Chris Orwig. The subtitle is Create Your Best Work and Live the Life You Imagine. And this book is nice because you go through the chapter, and then at the end of each chapter he's got little exercises here that you can do. Clearly I did not write in the book because I'm a weirdo like that and I don't believe in writing in books. So I read the exercise and thought about the answers, and I do have some of them written down elsewhere, just not right here. Okay, and I'll read just a little passage from this. This is kind of in the middle of the book, just a random passage that stuck out to me. It's titled, One Wild and Precious Life. When meeting a new neighbor a while back, I was asked, "What do you do with your life?" I told her I was a photographer, and she said, "Wow, that must be a tough job. Hasn't everything already been done? I mean, why take a photograph of the Golden Gate Bridge when you could just buy one instead?" I replied, "Sure, it's tough, but it's good. Making photographs isn't so much about creating something novel as it is about being changed." She shrugged her shoulders, said, "Interesting," and then walked off. I was left standing there with my own thoughts in an over-photographed world. Why do I persist? I began to think about a photograph I had recently captured of the Golden Gate Bridge. As I thought, Herb Caen's words came to mind. The Golden Gate Bridge, this mystical structure with its perfect amalgam of delicacy and power, exerts an uncanny effort. Its efficiency cannot conceal the artistry. There is heart and soul. It is an object to be contemplated for hours. Ah, here was a reason why. And then I began to make a mental list of other reasons I do photography. Because the camera helps me to slow down, discover truth, notice details, meet new people, and learn new things. I use a camera because of the way it instructs and helps me change. I make photographs because life is brief, and the camera helps me to find the magnificent in the mundane and to live life in a more meaningful way. So what about you? What are you going to do with your life and why? And then it goes into the example because that was at the end of the chapter. Those words really stuck out to me because a lot of that is why I do photography. I want to slow down and enjoy life, enjoy nature. And so that part of the book really spoke to me. Okay, the next book is The Moment It Clicks, and the subtitle is Photography Secrets from One of the World's Top Shooters by Joe McNally. And I have had the pleasure of taking classes from Joe McNally, and I really do admire his work. He's done stuff for Sports Illustrated and National Geographic. This book has a lot about lighting and how he got the shots that he did. So pretty much every page is, one side's got the description and the other side's got the picture. So it's a really quick read because, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of writing, but you also get the picture as the example. A short little passage that I liked from this was, "It's not about one type of picture or another. It's not about sportsmen or fashion models or war or politics or news of the day. It's about being a photographer. It's about the sheer joy of clicking the shutter, repeatedly, the sweet sound of the shutter and the explosion that occurs in your head and your heart when you make the shot. The deal is the shot, you know. You make the picture, and you know something just froze solid in a shifting world. Something stabilized for all time. You just hung your hat on a moment that otherwise would be gone forever, and now you can go back and take a look at that moment, be it amazing or ordinary, anytime you want. And I picked that passage because obviously with my document living side of photographs, I'm trying to capture that for families, the everyday, the ordinary, that you may not think anything of, but when it's gone, you want to have that moment to remember. So that is why I liked The Moment It Clicks. Highly recommend that one as well. And lastly, I have two books by Jay Mizell that I like. Light, Gesture, and Color. And It's Not About the F-Stop. Light, Gesture, and Color is basically what it sounds like. He starts off in the beginning talking about light, which I think is fairly self-explanatory. And then he goes into gesture. Here's a gesture. And lastly, color. So like the Joe McNally book, it's got picture on one side, words on the other, and it's not too long, so it's a pretty quick read, but there's a lot of different inspiring things in here. It really makes you think about taking a shot. Like, why are you taking this shot? Is it the light? Is there gesture that you like? Is there color? What is it about this shot that you want to take? Okay, and one of my favorite passages from the Light, Gesture, Color is, there is no bad light. There is spectacular light and difficult light. It's up to you to use what light you have. It won't always be spectacular, and sometimes you may not get much light at all. Use whatever light you find. It may not be inspiring or wonderful. You work with the hand you're dealt. Stop complaining about the light. Without it, we keep bumping into things and can't see gesture or color. The drama in light exists not only in what is in light, but also what is left dark. If the light is everywhere, the drama is gone. And I like that because a lot of times when I'm traveling, I may start out early in the day and go late at night, but I'm also out during the midday shooting, and a lot of photographers hate shooting in midday sun because it's so harsh that I kind of take pleasure in it. It's something different, like not everybody does it. Yeah, it makes some weird shadows and makes some of my photos a little bit harsher than they would if I was going at sunset and golden hour and blue hour and getting all the fancy light. But I think that's what makes me work harder and makes me really think about what I'm taking a picture of, because sometimes I get stuck out during the middle of the day in, a national park, and I can't always be there at sunrise or sunset, so I gotta work with what I have. Okay, and lastly, we'll talk about It's Not About the F-Stop. I've really liked this book because it's not your typical photography book. It's not giving you any technique. It's not really giving you any thoughts on how to light an image, how to set up an image. Pretty much, he shares an image and he talks about it. And here's a little passage that I liked. Most instructive photographic books tend to dwell a great deal on technique and equipment. This one doesn't. One of my best friends, Sam Garcia, and I argue endlessly over our differing perceptions of photography. Recently he said to me, "Photography is not about photography. It's about everything else." I asked, "Did you just make that up?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I think that is the best thing I have ever heard. In this book, I tried to talk about everything else." So, yeah, that sums up the book and why I liked it, because I was getting his thoughts on his own images. And that's important because, it's always nice to hear what the artist thinks of their own work and what they were trying to do with that work. And sometimes It's as simple as one line that he talks about his work, and yet to me it's still inspiring. I'm going to link to all of these books on Amazon. I am an Amazon associate, so if you order through the links, I will get a small percentage from those sales, but that's not why I do that. I had signed up years ago, so I just use it. I highly recommend these 4 books if you are interested in photography or even just art. It's Not About the F-Stop, Light, Gesture, and Color, The Moment It Clicks, and The Creative Fight, because they really are about the art and the creativity behind photography, not the technical aspects of photography. Thanks, guys!